What's up, guys? Hopefully, you're all having an awesome day. Before I do a little video for you guys today talking about the inhams. So, it seems like things are going downhill very rapidly for them. I look at their channel and I don't know how much longer it's gonna last. I think things are getting worse and worse for them, and they know that things are getting worse for them. You know, obviously, yesterday's vlog, right? They did that big Q&A vlog yesterday. Now, I knew even before that vlog went up that there were going to be a lot of comments about the whole liquidation thing, which there was. And I knew that they would be very quickly deleted. Chris then made a huge statement about that whole liquidation thing, and then he ends up deleting that statement. To me, that's very, very telling. And it speaks volumes, it really does speak volumes, the fact that he's made that big statement about the liquidation thing and then ended up deleting it. It's just crazy at the end of the day. And I found not think that's a little bit odd. The fact that he's made that huge statement about the liquidation thing and then ended up deleting it, you know, that would certainly seem a bit odd to me. The fact that he's made a big statement about that liquidation thing and then ended up removing that statement. It's like, that to me said, that to me I think really proves the point. I feel like, he's frightened of saying too much, as I think he knows that if he says too much, he could land himself in a lot of shit. And I think I think he knows that he has to be really, really careful about what he's saying at the moment, because he knows that, if he says too much, it could land him in a lot, in very serious trouble. If certain people see, if he says too much and certain people see that, you know, it could land him in serious trouble, and I think he knows that. I think he knows that if he says too much, it could be, it could be pretty, it could end up, that could have serious consequences, you know, which is why he deleted that statement. He probably deleted that statement because he knew that he'd said too much. He knew that he knew that he probably shouldn't. Well, that's why he did it. You know, it really does speak volumes. It really genuinely does. You know, Hussein is an absolute dickhead. We've known that for a very long time, that he's an absolute fucking dickhead. The guy talks absolute shit. He's full of it. He's full of shit. The guy. I hate to say it, but it's true. He is absolutely 100% full of shit. I don't even know what to say. But you can certainly see that all is not well, in the land of the Inhams right now. I can't begin to imagine, just how bad things are behind the scenes right now. I can imagine that there is a hell of a lot of this might seem well and good on camera, but I certainly think that there's probably a lot of tension behind the scenes, kind of off camera at the moment. There's a lot of tension there, Chris and Sarah at the moment. There's a lot of, you know, I think that there's been a lot of coffee being thrown up the walls recently. Um, it's just crazy. I feel like this is the big, well, I hope that all of this is the beginning of the end for them. I think we all hope that. Um, and in a way, it kind of feels like it is the beginning of the end for them. I feel like that's why I feel like this whole situation, is a big part of the reason why they've started uploading so regularly on Facebook. Why they've also now started uploading on Rumble as well, trying to get some extra money from that. Trying to get some extra money from posting on Facebook as well. They need that money. At the end of the day, they need all the money they can get their hands on. You know, at this point at this moment in time. You know, it makes me laugh when he says, "Oh, make up whatever lies you want." People are not making up lies. People don't make up lies. The only one who makes up lies is him and Chris and Sarah. They're the only ones that make up lies. And of course, the iPhone will believe whatever shit they come out with, and will believe that every single thing that they ever said that they say is true, when sometimes a lot of what they're saying actually isn't true, and a lot of the time Sarah and Chris do contradict themselves. You know, obviously, like the other month, when they were blowing up about, when they were blowing up about Sarah's nana, they contradicted themselves, a few times then, and this is what they do. They contradict them, they both contradict each other very, very badly, you know. Um, things are just getting, obviously things are getting worse and worse for them, and I'm loving every single second of it, It wouldn't happen to, it's like they deserve that, Um, they brought this upon themselves, if you get what I mean. I mean, I genuinely don't feel bad for them at all, and I never will feel bad for them. You know, Mm. I mean, I can hardly say they're living their best life right now, are they? You know, I mean, you can certainly tell that Chris is probably, he deleted that bit, he did that big brand the other week, and he deleted it, you know, and then he makes that big statement on last night's log, and he deleted that. Within about an hour. Within an hour. You know, I think you can really see that he's frightened of saying too much. I feel like he knows if he says too much, it could land him in a lot of shit. If he says too much, he could get into serious trouble. You know, I think he knows that he's got to be careful about what he's saying and how much he actually says. You know, I mean, as soon as I saw the statement that he made on last night, I was like, yeah, you're so full of shit. You know, to be honest, I couldn't stand watching that vlog last night. Is that their faces in last night's what they were so fucking smug. You know, I'd love to see someone wipe that smug look off their faces. And obviously wipe the smirks off their faces. It's the way they sit there smirking. It's like they're like that. They think that is like had to dot cream or something like that. Thinking the smugness of them is fucking it infuriates me. It really does. And it's like it's crazy, to see how bad things are for them right now. But it's not hard to see why. It's not hard to see why things have gotten so bad for them, and a lot of it is all down to Chris. The only one that's really to blame for any of this is Christopher Renham himself. You know, I think a lot of people who saw that statement will know that what Chris was saying was absolute bullshit. I think we all know that he's an absolute fucking dickhead. I had to laugh at the way he said, "Oh, someone voiced their opinion in real life, they get smacked in the mouth." He will smack anyone in the mouth. Chris Renham would be too scared to smack anyone in the mouth. He'd be hiding behind his wife and kids. So the fact that he goes on about smacking people in the mouth, like, who the fuck does he think he is? Coming out with things like that. Oh, talking about smacking people in the mouth, like, what a dickhead. The guy is an absolute fucking dickhead. The problem with Chris Cinema is he thinks he's it. He thinks he's something special, which he isn't. He thinks he's it. No, he ain't. He's a fucking pervert. That's what he is. Mm. He's a fucking dickhead who cheated on his wife, slept with a fan, and sent sexually inappropriate messages to teenage girls, and has never had the balls to hold his hands up and admit that. He's always been too scared to do that. All I can say is they better enjoy it while it lasts. I mean, I certainly think that Christmas vlogs will be very interesting this year. You know, they'll be doing it Christmas shopping in fucking Poundland, or something like that, probably. I mean, there certainly won't be a lot of expensive presents. I certainly don't think there'll be too many expensive Christmas presents this year. You know, I certainly think this year will be a lot of cheap tack this year due to due to obviously certain reasons. I mean, it's like this situation is so crazy for them. Things are just getting worse and worse for them as time goes on. Like things are not going to get any better for them, are they? Things are just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse. I still think it's funny that he had that rant the other week and he deleted that. About the other week and he deleted it, and then he's made that big statement on last night's vlog, and he deleted that as well. It's like the people not think that's a bit strange. The people not think that's that kind of speaks volumes. The fact that he's had that big rant and deleted it, and then he's made that big statement. He's posted that big statement on last night's vlog, and then he's deleted that as well. I mean, deleting a rant is fair enough, but then to make a big statement like that on last night's vlog and then delete that does speak volumes. That statement that he made on yesterday's vlog was pretty big, and the fact that he's made that pretty big statement and then deleted it, I mean, do people not think that's do people not think there's something slightly bizarre going on there? The fact that he's had that rant, deleted it, made that big statement on last night's vlog, deleted that as well. You know, kind of says a lot. It kind of says that he's scared of saying too much. He's scared that if he knows if he says too much, he will be in a fucking for a lot much more serious trouble than he is now. You know, I think at the moment, I think he's got to be very, very careful with what he says. I think he's got to be very, very careful with, with a lot of what he's saying. He's got to be very, very careful to make sure that he doesn't say too much, if you know what I mean, because it could land him in a lot of trouble if he does. That's a big part of the reason why he's deleted that statement, that he deleted that big statement, because he probably knew, I think he knew that he'd probably said too much. He knew that he had to delete that statement because he'd said too much, you know, and he knew that if he didn't delete that statement, he'll potentially get into serious trouble, which is why he deleted it. He did, to try and avoid that. This is a fucking idiot, and he's a fucking dickhead, and we've always known that. And that will never change. He will always be a fucking smug dickhead, fucking vile, disgusting dickhead. Simple as that. So I hope you enjoyed this little video. I thought I would give my thoughts on that. I'll see you all for another video probably this afternoon. I mean, I don't think there's going to be too many videos this week, as I am going to be quite busy this week. I'll talk a bit more about that. I'll talk a bit later on about why I'm so busy this week. I'll be talking a bit about that in the video that comes out in the video that I'll be doing this afternoon. After lunch, I don't have my lunch. I'll come on and I'll do a video. Talking about that. But yeah, I'll see you for that. I'll see you for that video this afternoon. But for now, enjoy it. But for now, I'll see you all soon. Bye, guys.